Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And I should be wearing, like, more pink. I totally, didn't think about Valentine's Day. I have some pink on my shirt, but that's not really. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy St. Valentine's Day. So, today in this brief video, I'm going to talk about two things. The real story behind St. Valentine's Day. Again, if you watch my Christmas video, I'm not going to rag on how secularized it is. The real story behind it, and also Jesus' love. So, let's start with Jesus' love. I'm sure most of y'all are familiar with the Roman angel Cupid, who shoots people with arrows tipped with magic love potion, and the next person that the person shot looks at, they fall. I don't know, that made no sense, but you know what I mean. They fall. Person shot with an arrow falls in love with the person that next person that they see, or animal. I'm reading A Midsummer Night's Dream. That's kind of related for school. And so that image of being like the heart shot with an arrow has been carried on our Valentine's Day pictures, cards, whatever, for I don't know how long, however long St. Valentine's Day has been going on. One of my younger sisters, it's me, boy, girl, so the next girl has been learning about Greek and Roman mythology for history, and the other day when she was complaining about her homework, as we all do, I know, we all love homework. One day when she was complaining about it, I was, our house is decorated for, Valentine's Day, and I was staring at, our living room wall where she had painted like the heart pierced with an arrow. And I was staring at it, and then all of a sudden it clicked. Jesus' heart was pierced by a sword to assure that he had died, like the soldiers pierced him by the sword, with a sword. Mary's heart was figuratively pierced by a sword after her son died. When someone's heart is pierced by Cupid's arrow, he or she falls in love with the next person he or she sees. Jesus is in love with you and died on the cross for you. There's a little bit of truth in everything. Of course, the trick is that Jesus' heart didn't need to be stabbed with Cupid's arrow to, like, fall in love with you. He's been in love with you ever since you were created. That's why he created you in the first place. But I think it's cool to think about the imagery of someone's heart being pierced in, like, church history and legit real life. It happened to Jesus and Mary. Mary is your mother. She loves you too. It was not literal. And then of course the Greek history with Cupid's arrow piercing people, like, and make them fall in love. Because of course Jesus' love is real, and when I was thinking about, like, with A Midsummer Night's Dream, I was thinking, so is the love of the flower, like, legit love? Is it real love? Or is it just because the potion is making the lovers fall in love? But that's with A Midsummer Night's Dream, that's Shakespeare. We're talking about Greek history. That stuff, I'm like, is that real love? But of course, Jesus' love is real. It's the truest love. Jesus died for you, died for me, died for all of humanity, so that we could go be with him in heaven later, after we die. So now, because that was the first half, entering into the second half, I'm going to Google search St. Valentine's story, and we'll see what comes up. So let's do this. Oh my gosh, I can't type. Valentine's, oh, here it is. Right here, Valentine's story. Like many relationship stories, the history of St. Valentine is full of torture and pain. That sounds interesting. Wonder what this is supposed to be. That's supposed to be a flower? I think it's supposed to be a flower. Okie dokie. St. Valentine's Day may be beloved by romantic, flushed individuals keen on expressing their passion, and by retailers for the massive windfalls of cash it generates. Okay, I'm gonna put the link in the description so that y'all can read this if you want to. Whatever you go through in Valentine's Day, it's not as bad as what St. Valentine went through. Okay, so Valentine, so the person who we're talking about here was a Christian priest in the Roman Empire. He was beaten, stoned, and finally decapitated on February 14th, roughly 1,700 years ago in Rome. Of course, all the accounts from ancient Roman history are always weird. But Valentine's crime was performing marriages for young Christian men and women in an age that favored open relationships. Young marriage was also frowned upon because it was seen as making fighting men less tough. I guess they thought if they had a wife to go home to, they wouldn't want to fight because they were afraid of dying. I guess something like that. He also made an attempt to convert people. Oh yes, I've heard this. One version of his story says that Valentine healed the jailer of the daughter's blindness when he was in prison awaiting execution, or the daughter of the judge. Before he was taken out, he wrote a girl note signed, "Your Valentine." Romantic. Not so much. So we're also thinking about there are two different Valentines. We're not sure who we're talking about. And then Pope Glacius is February 14th as the feast day of Saint Valentine's martyrdom. And you can read the rest of this. This is funny. Saint Valentine is a patron of engaged couples, happy marriages, love, lovers, and young people, but also of plague, travelers, epilepsy, fainting, greetings, and beekeepers. I wonder where those came from. Okay. So that is the real story of, like, why we have this Valentine's Day. So, clearly, Valentine's Day is not all that it seems. I'm not entirely sure. I guess the Valentine writing your Valentine on the paper to the jailer's daughter got this entire letter thing going, but it's just interesting to see how society has changed this. So that's the real story behind Valentine, and this is also a Valentine from me to you about Christ's love, because, you know, we all need more of that, definitely. So, I will see you soon. I think the next one I'm going to do whenever I have time, because I'm going on a trip this weekend. I didn't have to go to school today. Going on a trip this weekend, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to do confirmation, but hopefully soon. I'll see y'all later. Bye.